Welcome to the video on finding an inverse function. Here we want to find the inverse function of f of x equals the opposite of the square root of x minus 2 and then plus 3. Let's start by finding the domain and then also the range of this original function. Now notice this is a square root. Square root is an even indexed root. So I can only take even indexed roots of non-negative numbers for real valued output. Looking at what's under the radical, the x minus 2, we want to make sure that x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Adding 2 to both sides, we get x is greater than or equal to 2. So our domain includes 2, so we'll use a squared off bracket, and all values of x that are also greater than 2. So off to infinity with the parentheses. Now when we think about that being the domain, let's see if we can determine the range. And one way you could also do this is to graph it. Here we're just going to talk through a few values. So if x is equal to 2, 2 minus 2 is 0. So I have the opposite of the square root of 0, which is 0, and then plus 3 is 3. If x is equal to 3, 3 subtract 2 is 1, square root of 1 is 1, the opposite of 1 is negative 1, and negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So as I put in values from the domain, my output's biggest value would be 3. So our range is negative infinity, comma 3. But I can get 3, so there'd be a square bracket there. So that means for the inverse function, the domain and the ranges switch. So the domain of the inverse function is the range of the original. So it's negative infinity to 3. And the range of the inverse function is the domain of the original. So that's the 2 off to infinity. And that'll be helpful as we get our equation. So now let's find the inverse. So the first thing we want to do is remember that f of x is just another name for y. So instead of writing the f of x equals, we will write y equals the negative square root of x minus 2 and then plus 3. And then you want to switch the x and y values, or variables. So we write x is equal to the opposite of the square root of y minus 2 and then plus 3. And now we want to solve for y. So to solve for y, we want to make sure we get the radical on a side by itself. So we'll subtract 3 from both sides. Divide both sides by negative 1. And then since we're dividing by negative 1, let's go ahead and simplify that left-hand side. That is negative x plus 3 is equal to the square root of y minus 2. Now to remove the radical, we will square both sides. So I have this quantity negative x plus 3 squared is equal to y minus 2. And then we'll go ahead and add 2 to both sides, and we get y is equal to 2 plus the quantity negative x plus 3 squared. Now, it almost looks like we would be done. However, this is not restricted only to what we need to have for the domain of this. So we need to make sure that we also include that for the inverse, our domain is negative infinity to 3. Because look at what we have for this equation. This equation is true for all real values, but our inverse can only be valid over the domain from negative infinity to 3 for it to be the inverse function of the original function that we started with. So what we want to put after this is our x has to be less than or equal to 3 just giving the inequality notation for the interval notation that we had for our domain. And that gives you the inverse function of the original function given in this example.